Shalom. There's a very ancient story from tradition that I find particularly moving. It's called the story of two brothers. There had long been a field owned by two brothers between their two homes. One of the brothers had a wife and children, while the other had no wife and children. During one wheat harvest, they bound up stalks in the field and beat out the ears and made two equal piles of the grain, one pile for each of them, and they left them there in the field. That night, the brother who had neither wife nor child lay in his bed and thought to himself, I'm all by myself and I have nobody who's dependent on me for their daily bread. But my brother has a wife and children, so why should my portion be equal to his? So he rose in the middle of the night and took sheaves from his own pile and placed them on his brother's pile. And that very night, his brother thought to himself, it's not fair to divide the corn in the field into two portions, half to me and half to my brother. My lot and fate is so much better than his, since God has given me wife and children, while he is alone in the world. And so he arose in the middle of the night and secretly added to his brother's portion from his own. And the next morning, both brothers saw that their piles were still the same. And so they each assumed that their actions were just a dream that they had the night before, but a meaningful idea nonetheless. And so this generous act kept repeating itself in the night as they crossed past each other and never saw each other. Finally, one night, both brothers, when walking in the night with the piles in their arms, bumped into each other and realized why the piles had remained the same. They realized that they both had been given to the other. It was there that they dropped the piles and embraced. And the story ends with a statement. It is taught that the Eternal One observed the acts of these two brothers and their embrace. And the place where they dropped their piles was the place chosen for the holiest of holies, the center of the holy city. In some legends, that spot is upon the foundation stone, a location holy to all Western religions. It's a beautiful story with a beautiful message. But particularly important is that this story is a shared one. Throughout its history, this story has been told within the traditions of Judaism, of Christianity, and Islam. The reason I share it with you today is that it is a story of peace. And peace is at the foundation of all ethical traditions. In Hebrew, the word for peace is commonly known as shalom, but it has other meanings as well. The root letters of the word denote a sense of completion or wholeness, shlemut. In fact, in the Hebrew Bible, shalom means well-being or prosperity, not just peace. So peace in Jewish tradition is not merely the absence of war, rather peace is the ideal state for any society. It's important to also talk about what peace is not. Peace is not necessarily silence. In the face of grave injustice, our prophets, who were forth-tellers, not merely foretellers, used their words and their bodies in protest to bring about restorative justice in their society, to disrupt the silence in the hopes of bringing about true and lasting peace. Here in Milwaukee, just as in the rest of this great nation, people of good faith in the wake of tragedy and in the wake of injustice, in our finest moments and in our saddest moments, come together like family, like the story, and embrace. But sometimes, too, we fall short of what wholeness and peace that we all desire. As this nation's leaders come together to discuss the future of this union, may they be ever cognizant that shalom, true peace, the peace of wholeness, well-being, and prosperity, demands justice and unity. The path to peace is a difficult one, but I know that we are up to the challenge. Perhaps then the words of the psalmist, Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad, how good and how pleasant it is when brothers and sisters dwell together in unity, can truly come to pass, and then we will know shalom. I pray that this is our will. It's important to share our prayers for peace with the next generation, so it's good to have my daughter here with me. Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha, barchenu yotzreinu kulanu ke'echad, be'or panecha, ki ve'or panecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu Torat Chaim ve'ahavat chesed, u'tzedakah uvracha v'rachamim v'chaim v'shalom.
V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael, b'chol eit uv'chol sha'a bishlomecha. Baruch atah Adonai, amvarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of our world. Plant virtue in every soul. May the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom.